Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 4.
Here's a look at today's top 4 at 4. 2 Fargo police officers saved a woman's life today. They went to the 100 block of 2nd Street South this morning to check on a suicidal woman. Officers Brady Holte and Scott Norbiton saw her walking towards the rapids in the Red River near Dyke East. And by the time they caught up to her, she was already neck deep in the river. Officer Holte went in and got her out while Officer Norbiton helped get her out of the river. The woman was taken to a local hospital and she's going to be okay. And 3 people are in custody today after a high-risk narcotics search warrant. Multiple departments and the Red River Valley SWAT team were in Moorhead this morning as a part of an ongoing investigation. 3 people were arrested for outstanding felony warrants. And a man is in jail after a Fargo police officer spotted a suspicious vehicle at a home under construction. Chase Kellenberger was arrested at 4 o'clock this morning after running from police. Officers chased him through the construction area before finally catching up to him. They also found the tools he was using to break into trailers. And a woman is in the hospital after a crash near Horace. It happened this morning around 7 a.m. on the 124th Avenue South, just off of I-29. Cass County sheriffs say 2 vehicles were involved, but only 1 person was hurt. She was taken to the hospital, and the other driver is going to be okay. That's a quick look at today's top 4 at 4. Now let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson for our first alert weather.
Beautiful weather out there as we finally rid ourselves of that pesky fog that was around for the early hours today in eastern North Dakota. A look at our camera at the Dakota Magic Casino shows a little bit of wind, and it's those south winds that have helped bring temperatures back into line. We do have a fair amount of cloud cover across parts of western Minnesota, and notice temperatures there struggling to get out of the 50s in places like Bemidji. But the 70s are on in earnest across eastern North Dakota. Look at our neighbors out west, Dickinson, Rapid City, near 90 there. All right, your forecast in Fargo looks very quiet tonight with the exception of a little bit of a breeze out there. We expect conditions to be fairly pleasant and quiet all evening. Get out and enjoy these wonderful fall-like conditions. Grand Forks will have some changes on the way. Coming up, we'll have some rain in the forecast as we go through the overnight hours. So some more ups and downs in our weather, including rain, wind, and even, yes, some cold weather. We'll go through all of that in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Hutch. And in Minnesota, the Department of Health is reporting 995 new confirmed cases of COVID-19, along with 3 new deaths linked to the illness. In North Dakota, there are 471 new cases, along with 8 more deaths in the state. The death toll now sits at 211. And amid a pandemic and a recession, a local private university is looking to help struggling families by slashing its tuition next year. Currently at Concordia College, tuition is nearly $48,000 for 1 year, but the school's president says next year the price will drop $27,500, a 35% decrease. President William Kraft says the decision is partly due to a successful fundraising year.
Yes, we do believe that this change will enable us to be possible for families, for students who might not otherwise have believed it was possible in the past.
Concordia did see a decline in enrollment this year by 3%. Along with lowering tuition, the college says it's creating a school of arts and sciences and a school for health professions. And North Dakota State University is seeing an increase in first-year students. The university says this year's freshman class is 4% larger than last year's, but total enrollment is down a few hundred students. The academic profile of first-year students remains strong, with 60% of NDSU students going in with a 3.5 GPA or higher. The first to second year retention rate is the highest it's ever been at 82%, up nearly 2% from the previous year. And Ottertail County officials say the bridge near Dent that was set on fire earlier this month is going to be back open. County engineer Charles Grote says he plans to reopen the bridge in a few weeks. The speed limit will be 40 miles per hour and there's going to be a weight limit for vehicles. Officials say their goal is to replace the bridge next summer. That cost is $980,000, but the state's pitching in with $30,000. And fans of jam-packed family Thanksgivings may want to brace themselves. The CDC has new guidelines about holiday travel and activities. Low-risk activities are having a small dinner with members of your household, shopping online, and watching sporting events from home. The agency is warning people to stay away from shopping areas, crowded ones, parade routes, and to think about holding dinners outdoors to lower the risk. And one local university is talking about a very powerful topic on their campus, suicide. North Dakota State University libraries are holding a recognition this afternoon for National Suicide Prevention Month. NDSU's role is bringing awareness while reminding students that a positive state of mind starts with being good to yourself. During this event, attendees will take an online screening on their devices to check their mental health conditions. According to the American Health Rankings and the CDC, suicide is in the top 10 leading causes of death in Minnesota and North Dakota. The biggest age group impacted in Minnesota is 45 to 54, while it's 25 to 34 in North Dakota. The highest rates are Indian men in Minnesota and white men in North Dakota. Please keep looking on your screen right now. We have a list of resources you can check out, including hotlines and local prevention practices. Services are free 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And Vice President Mike Pence and Ivanka Trump are bringing the president's law and order message to Minneapolis today. They're planning a listening session at an airport hotel with Cops for Trump group. They also plan to hear from people who Trump's re-election campaign have been hurt by crime. And it's no secret the city of Minneapolis is dealing with a lot of violent crime this year. In fact, the number of homicides alone so far is the highest it's been in a decade. But a team of community members believe they can help stop the violence. Here's Charmaine Nero.
It's been more than a week since 17-year-old Andre Conley was shot and killed in North Minneapolis. Another man left fighting for his life. This is just one of dozens of recent violent crimes that have plagued the city of Minneapolis in recent days.
Community violence, gun violence, violence driven by gangs and groups is different from domestic violence or sexual assault. All of them bad with bad consequences.
Sasha Cotton is the director of the Minneapolis Office of Violence Prevention. Just this week, the organization introduced a new street outreach team working to curb the violence.
Minneapolis Us Strategic Outreach, which is our model locally, is working in partnership with Cure Violence.
The group is comprised of 20 people covering North and South Minneapolis, patrolling neighborhoods and crime hotspots.
We're looking at people who are geographically connected to Minneapolis communities, whether that's because they've lived, worked, or had other experiences in the city, but also people who have those lived experiences of being in this lifestyle.
Since the beginning of the year, there have been more than 3,800 violent crimes, including homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, and domestic battery, a more than 18% increase from 2019. This year's total the highest within the last 4 years.
We don't want to just focus on where the gunshots have been, but we want to be able to think and predict where they might be next.
The organization has been around for the past year, but with the recent spike in violent crimes, Cotton is now hoping to expand outreach options outside of enforcement.
And so we are really looking at those evidence-based strategies that we can borrow from other places,
potentially de-escalating conflicts before they lead to violence. In Minneapolis, Charmaine Nero, KARE 11 News.
President Trump visited the Supreme Court to pay his respects to the late Justice Ginsburg today. How the Supreme Court will factor into the election season is next.
Here in Fargo, we started out with a gorgeous rising sun, but the clouds developed, some low clouds and fog to start our day here in the valley. Hey, checking on that wind, sometimes we need help in measurement, and here we have an observer caught on the roof. Your forecast is next.